同学们大家好，我们继续讲那个圣经的 Exodus 啊。那么我们现在讲这一段啊，第二章的这一段。The daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, while her attendants walked beside the river. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her maid to bring it. When she opened it, she saw the child. He was crying, and she took pity on her. This must be one of the Hebrews' children, she said. Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and get you a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you? Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Yes. So the girl went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Take this child and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages. So the woman took the child and nursed it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and she took him as her son. She named him Moses, because, she said, I drew him out of the water. 那么这一段怎么样啊？我们看这个情节啊，这里非常的有趣了啊。The daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, while her attendants walked beside the river. 这个不用解释了啊。She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her maid to bring it. 这个也不用解释了。When she opened it, she saw the child. He was crying, and she took pity on him. Took pity on 对他很可怜啊。This must be one of the Hebrews. This must be one of the Hebrews' children, she said. 然后后面再来了啊。Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and then his sister? 这个 his sister 应该是那个 Moses 的 his sister 他上来了。Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and get you a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you? 那么第七句啊，那么第七句呢有讲究的啊，第七句啊，第七句是有讲究的啊，这个是第二章第七句，第七句是 Then the baby's sister, then the babies approached the princess. Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? She asked. 好，那么这个我们要看注解了啊。Miriam, the sister of Moses, now speaks to Pharaoh's daughter. It is uncertain whether or not Moses' mother sent her for this purpose, because she was a young girl and therefore more easily received. However, God used Miriam to offer a unique situation for both Pharaoh's daughter and Moses' mother. Miriam asks if she can get a Hebrew woman to nurse the child. This practice must have been common in this time. This practice must have been common in this time. Unlike today, when bottle feeding an infant is a common practice, women in ancient times sometimes employ the use of other women, wet nurses, to provide milk for newborn children. 那么我们看啊 This proposed solution provided an easy way for Pharaoh's daughter to say yes to Miriam's request and raise Moses as her own son, and raises Moses as her own son. Unknown to Pharaoh's daughter, the nurse would also be Moses' mother. The end result would be the rescue of Moses, his mother nursing him in his young age and adopting into the wealthiest family in the nation. God perfectly orchestrated the events to uniquely prepare Moses for his future role. 那么他这个 他叫那个啊，同学们，第7啊，他说要不要我叫一个希伯来的女人啊，来帮你啊，等于说帮你来照顾那个小孩。实际上找的就是那个摩西的那个母亲啊，那么这样的话，这个上帝的安排太巧妙了啊。然后我们看 Pharaoh's daughter said to her, yes. So the girl went and called the child's mother. 啊，那你看到没？那么叫摩西的母亲了。Pharaoh's daughter, 那 Pharaoh's daughter 不知道 said to her, take this child and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages. So the woman took the child and nursed it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and she took him as her son. She named him Moses, because she said, I drew him out of the water. 我把他拉出那个水面啊。那么这个 Moses 啊，那么 Moses 肯定有一个意思的啊，是那么的 Moses 啊。那么希伯来语是 Moshe 啊 ，Moshe。那么 Moses 是 Moshe， 希伯来语的 Moshe 什么意思？他也没说啊。那我们不管啊。Because she said, I drew him out of the water. Drew him Hebrew 啊，就是 Mashe 啊，drew Mashe out of water 啊。那么好，那么我们第10也要看一下，对不对？第10也要看一下啊，第10我们看一下。Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. This princess named him Moses, for she explained, I lifted him out of the water. 啊，那么 Moses 就是这个意思啊。那么Pharaoh's daughter officially took over care for Moses when he was done nursing. It would have been extremely difficult for Moses' mother to give her son away. However, this option was far better than the alternative of losing him to an early death. 啊，那么这当然了，只能是这个办法，这上帝的安排啊。Of great importance in this verse. Of great importance in this verse is the origin of Moses' name. Of great importance in this verse is the origin of Moses' name. Whether or not Moses' biological mother named him, Scripture gives the baby no name until now. 啊，你看到没有？那个他命名啊，他母亲是否也出生的时候给他名字啊？我们不知道啊。那个 Scripture gives the name. Pharaoh's daughter chooses a name that matches his story. She names him Moses because she drew him out of the water. The Hebrew word Moses sounds similar to the word for draw out. Moses is similar to draw out. Moses is Moshe, while draw out is meshetetu, from the root word meshe. This wordplay may not be exact, however, as Pharaoh's daughter likely spoke Egyptian rather than Hebrew, he might have been thinking of something more traditionally Egyptian, or it might have been a pun on a Hebrew word she knew. The significance for Jewish readers was that the name Moses sounded like the word draw out. This connected with his providential escape from an early death. 啊，那么这个呢，就是摩西啊，这个名字啊怎么来的？啊，这个就很有意思啊，很重要啊。好，那么我说是不是的？现在because I join 嘛。那么好，那么这一段呢，我们第5到10，我们看看我们这里的注解，5到10，第2章的5到10，第2章啊，第2章 ，the emergence of Moses 啊，Moses 啊。5到10，我1到10 ，and the birth legends of other heroic figures in the 啊，这个我们讲过了啊。那么我们要看5。The royal daughter is the 5th woman of chapters 1 to 2. see 什么什么啊，这个5是这个主角 royal daughter，royal daughter 就是那个啊，第五我们这里没有 royal daughter 的啊，我们这里有没有讲的是 royal daughter 第5啊？The daughter of Pharaoh 啊，没有 royal daughter。好，那么我们这个第5不管了，那么第6什么？第6是这个啊，第6是 Hebrew C 啊，第7 hiring a wet nurse was usually a practice of elites in the ancient Near East 啊。什么叫 wet nurse 啊？给他吃奶的叫 wet nurse 啊，他还要吃奶了，他明白吗？啊，这个就叫 wet nurse 啊。然后是第10。sorry， 哎，这个东西怎么？第10 Moses an Egyptian name meaning is born. Moses an Egyptian name meaning is born and often joined with a god's name in the Egyptian personal names. For example, is given a Hebrew etymology, he who draws out, in anticipation of Moses' role in joining his people through the sea. 那么 draw him out. Moses an Egyptian name meaning is born 啊。那么这个摩西啊，他在埃及也是一个名字，也是埃及人用的一个名字啊。然后呢，就是说。然后呢，他这个名字在埃及呢是那个跟神啊神的名字相连的。然后呢，他呢给出了一个希伯来的那个出处啊，希伯来他也有出处，他的希伯来出处是 He who draws out 啊。那么这个里面有双关啊，同学们，这个里面的含义啊有多层含义啊，这个东西大家可以看一下。啊，在埃及语言里面，Moses 也是一个名字，它呢往往跟那个上帝的名字跟联系在一起的啊，连在一起的。那么这个埃及的名字跟上帝连起来，我们不深究了。那么呢，它呢在在那个希伯来语里面也有来源的啊，Moses 啊，就是这个东西好。那么我们10对不对？看完了。好，那么我们看下面一段。One day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinsfolk. He looked this way. He looked this way and that. He looked this way and that. Okay, sorry. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed. Seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Oh my goodness! When he went out the next day, he saw 2 Hebrews fighting, and he said to the one who was in the wrong, "Why do you strike your fellow Hebrew?" He answered, "Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "Surely the thing is known." When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses 啊。那么好，那么故事就发展了很快啊。好，那么我们来看一天啊。One day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinsfolk. He looked this way and that. 他到处看看啊 ，and seeing no one, 他没看到没人在啊。He killed the Egyptian. 他把那个埃及人杀了 ，and hid him in the sand. 然后把他藏在这个不用说。When he went out the next day, he saw 2 Hebrews fighting. 那么他在那2个 Hebrew fight, and he said to the one who was in the wrong. 他对那个不对的那个人说 ：“Why do you strike your fellow Hebrew？ 你为什么要打他？” He answered, "Who made you a ruler and a judge over us?" 你是谁啊？等于你后面的 Do you mean to kill me as you kill the Egyptian？ 那你是不是也要像你杀掉那个？他实际上他被人看见了啊，杀掉那个埃及人一样杀掉我啊。然后 Then Moses was afraid and thought, surely the thing is known 啊，肯定这件事情就知道了。然后是 When Pharaoh heard of that, he sought to kill Moses 啊。然后第15我们看一下，第15是。第15啊，sorry，第15的我们这里这个啊，我们这里第15是第15叫下面的啊，第15到这里啊，15句它我们这里分开的啊。When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh. He settled in the land of Midian and sat down by a well. He settled in the land of 那么我们15看一下。And sure enough, Pharaoh heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian. When Moses arrived in Midian, he sat down beside the well 啊。那么他就逃掉了啊，那么他就逃掉了啊。这个也没什么好那个的啊，那个他就是。When Pharaoh had he sought to kill Moses, but when the fled from 他逃掉了，然后呢，他到了那个 medium 啊 medium and sat down by a well 啊 he settled in the medium and sat down 他然后呢，这个一个井啊，一个水井呢坐在那边啊，那么坐在那边嘛，那么上帝要对他说话了啊。好，那么我们来看啊，那么我们来看下面一段，我们先念一下，对不对？稍等一下啊。这一段啊。But Moses fled and he sat up by a well. The priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. But some shepherds came and drove them away. Moses got up and came to their defense and watered their flock. When they returned to their father Rule, he said, how is it that you have come back so soon today? They said, an Egyptian helped us against the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock. He said to his daughters, where is he? Why did you leave the man? Invite him to break bread. Moses agreed to stay with the man, and he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah in marriage. She bore a son, and he named him Gershom. For he said, I've been an alien residing in a foreign land 啊。那么这一段前面一句讲了啊，撒到半well，然后是 the priest of Midian had 7 daughters 啊，那他那个 priest 啊 Midian 他是一个神职人员啊，也是一个神职人员啊。Midian 这个地方的一个神职人员，他有7个女儿啊。然后呢，他们呢就是 came to draw water， 他们去打水了，到那个井呢打水啊。然后呢 and fill the trough to water their father's flock 啊，那么然后呢，倒在那个 troughs 就是那种槽里面，让那个和那个羊群啊，什么群啊，喝水的。But some shepherds came and drove them away 啊，这个那个牧羊人啊，别的牧羊人来了以后把他们赶走啊。Moses got up and came into their defense and watered their flock 啊。那么摩西啊来了以后保护他们，然后呢帮他们那个。water 给那个 flock 喝水啊。When they returned to their father Rule, he said, How is it that you have come back so soon today? 那么他的父亲呢问了，你们今天怎么这么早就回来啊？一般的不会这么快的。然后呢 they said, An Egyptian helped us against the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock. 然后他说 he said to his daughter, Where is he? Why did you leave the man? Invite him to break bread 啊。那么 invite him to break bread 啊。那么同学们，这个就是 break bread 啊。那么 break bread 应该吃早饭啊，邀请他来吃早饭。break bread 啊 ，break bread， bread break 有没有 break bread 这个词组的 ？break 的意思很多啊，同学们那 break bread bread 就是 to dine together 一起吃饭to dine together break bread 这个也蛮有意思的，这个是成语啊，同学们这个是 break bread 是成语啊。我们再看看别的字典有没有这个一起吃饭是不是一样啊 ？break bread break bread 这个牛津没有的，这个牛津的那个字典很差劲的，有很多东西它都没有的。break bread 啊。那么我们看看这个里面也有的，肯定有的。稍等一下，break 那 to eat together 那么这个是成语啊 ，break bread 就是在一起吃饭在一起吃，邀请他一起吃饭。然后是 Moses agreed to stay with the man. Moses agreed to stay with the man, and he gave Moses his daughter Ziphrah in marriage. 然后他给了他一个女儿结婚了然后呢，希伯了上了 ，and he named him for he said I've been an alien. 那么这里的 alien 有一个 Hebrew 是 Hebrew 是 alien. I'm an alien residing in a foreign land 那么 I have been an alien, I've been an alien. 那么这个名字，他的儿子的名字哥小嘛，就是那个 alien residing 那么这一段呢，就是他碰到了一个那个牧师那么当地呢是跟他结婚了，给他女儿给他一个女儿结婚了那么他也成家了。好，那么就是这里呢，就是15到15到22 15到22那么前面好像我们又没有，前面一节我们没有讲那个稍等一下，完了这里就是11到15的注解我们没看我们再来看一下，不要漏掉。11到15，第2章的11到15，在这里。In the first 2 episodes of his adult life, Moses saves one Hebrew and tries to adjudicate between 2 others. Both roles will recur in and involves all his people. 那么再一个呢，他就是说他呢救了一个希伯来人，然后呢还那个试图在那个希伯来语的那个2个人之间adjudicate 评判就是说他哪个对哪个错那么 both roles will recur。那么这2个角色一个是他正救别人打了以后，他把那个埃及人杀了，这是一件事情；还有一件就是说他们2个希伯来人来打架，然后他去劝架。那么这2个角色呢，就要重复的在他的他后面他范围越来越大了他最后就是那个以色列的领袖了，以色列人的 all his people 然后呢是11。His kinfolks, he identifies with his people, even though he was raised in the Egypt 那么他自己他认为自己是以色列人尽管他说他在那个 埃及的皇宫里面 ，court 就是皇宫啊。他尽管在埃及的皇宫里面出生的，但是他就始终认为自己是以色列人啊，从来没有认为自己是埃及人啊。好，然后14到15，14到15呢，啊，14到15，14到15。他是一般 Moses is rejected by his own people, and Pharaoh seeks his life. 那么Moses 被他自己的自己的那个以色列人啊被拒绝了，就不理他，你搞什么啊？然后呢，那个法老要他的命啊。然后是 ruler Hebrew 啊，这个14有一个叫 ruler，14有没有叫 ruler？因为这 ruler 14，然后 who made you a ruler？谁让你是一个 ruler？那么 ruler 是什么 ？ruler Hebrew Shah judge anticipates one of the many roles 那么这个 ruler， 那么和 judge 啊，它这 ruler 跟 judge 这两个就是说预示在摩西的后面的那个很多的角色啊，摩西后面就是 ruler 跟那个叫什么 judge 啊。那么好，那么15到 B 到22，15到 B 到22。Moses flees to Midian and marries 啊，那么好，那么15到 B，15到 B Midian in northwest Arabia, the Midianites said to be descendants of Abraham and Keturah were caravaneers whose routes stretches across Sinai toward Egypt. A well where Moses meets his future wife, a pattern appearing in the story of Rebecca and Rachel 那么这个呢就是他们都在井边啊，都在井边啊，泉水边这个碰面的啊，这个故事里面前面都是这样的啊，都是在这个井边，他们来打水啊，因为中东这个地方水源是很稀少的，明白吗？那么大家呢如果有什么拒绝的话呢？拒绝的话呢，有两个地方是聚集，人们要聚在一起的。一个地方是什么？一个地方是城门啊，城门底下，对不对？人们要聚集在一起的。还有一个呢，就是井边。那么在井边聚集的呢，往往是牧羊人啊。那边有很多的牧羊人，他们都要到那个井边去打水给那个羊群喝水的啊，对不对？好，那么我们一共是多少？稍等一下。那么16到22了，对不对？那么我们看16啊，16。Moses' future father-in-law is a priest who plays an important role in chapter 18. 7 daughters are making a total of 12 female figures. 7 daughters making a total of 12 female figures 啊，那么7个女儿，他说啊，使得他呢有整个有12个女性的女性啊，12个女性。那么在摩西的生活里面应该说什么啊？那么这个我们不讲究了啊。那么17 saved by the daughter of a king Moses now saves the daughters of a priest, one of whom will save him. The motive of saving recurs, anticipating the ultimate salvation and deliverance at the sea 那么就是这个主题拯救这个主题一直重复的明白吗？然后是18是 rule, elsewhere called Jethro or Hobab, likely reflecting different ancient sources 那么这个什么？这个实际probably because of his clothing, Moses is mistaken for an Egyptian 他由于他穿的衣服别人认为他是一个埃及人其实他不是埃及人，对不对？他是希伯来人他是以色列人好，然后是21。in the marriage is give as a wife, a Hebrew idiom for marriage give as a 这个give 这个我们不说了。他说是希伯来语里面的一个成语 结婚啊，什么给吧。好，那么这个就是这个注解，我们看完了。sorry， 好she brought him to Pharaoh's. Sorry. Moses agrees and he gave Moses his daughter in the marriage 啊，就是结婚了他就给了，就给了啊，这个是成语啊，这个希伯来语里面成语啊，给谁啊？把他的女儿给谁啊？那应该就是那个啊，就是让他们结婚啊。那么好，那么sorry， 好，那么22，那么接下去呢23，23第2章的最后一段，我们讲完它啊。sorry， 哎呀，这个东西老是不灵啊。After a long time, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned under their slavery and cried out. Out of the slavery, their cry for help rose up to God. God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God looked upon the Israelites, and God took notice of them. 那么他们注意到了。好，那么我们这段来看 ，After a long time, the king of Egypt died. 那么那个国王又死了。Israel groaned under their slavery， 在他们的那个 groan 就是呻吟啊。在这个奴隶制下面呻吟啊，然后呢就叫出来了，他们要反抗啊，他们要叫出来了，叫出来要抱怨了啊。Out of the slavery, they cry for help。由于这他们的那个 slavery 这种状态啊 ，they cry， 他们要叫了，要 for help 啊 ，rose up to God， 然后呢升上去了，被上帝听到了啊。然后呢，上帝 heard their groaning，and God remember his， 然后呢，上帝呢。记起了他的那个条约啊，跟亚伯拉罕那么什么艾这个杰克不了。然后呢 ，she looked upon it， 然后呢，他呢在上天嘛，看着那个以色列人啊 ，and God took notice of them 嘛，然后呢，他就注意到他们了啊，他们不信啊。终于啊，最后上帝注意到了，那么上帝要介入了啊。23、24、25，那么我们看看23、24、25。23到25。A postscript to the marriage episode. A postscript to the marriage episode provides a transition to the account of Moses becoming deliverer of his people in response to God's call. God is mentioned in the midwives episode, but only now is said to be aware of the Israelites' plight. 那么 postscript 就是后面加上去的啊，后面注意一下啊，注意一下 postscript 啊。这一段就是一个 postscript 啊 ，to the marriage episode， 就是他们的婚姻的这一段。他说呢，提供了一个什么 transition 啊，提供了一个转换啊。transition 就是说提供了一个转换的一个角色这一段啊，这一段就是开始要转换了，转换从什么？就是摩西啊要变成一个解放者啊，他们的老百姓的解放者，然后呢是顺应了那个上帝的那个召唤啊，然后上帝呢他说在那个里面提到的 midwife 就是那个接生婆那个片段里面也提到的，但是现在呢就是说上帝在接生婆那个地方听到就是说。上帝呢，在那个接生婆那个里面提到的，但是呢，那接生婆那一段呢，并没有提到呢，就上帝呢知道了他们的那个他们的那个 plight 啊，他们的灾难啊，他们的痛苦啊，痛苦啊，然后 is said to be aware of the Israelites 啊，那么现在呢，上帝呢就知道了知道了这个以色列人的痛苦了，然后是后面23。They cried. The Egyptians eventually will cry louder, and the Israelites will cry again at the sea. Their slavery, that is their work 啊 ，their slavery 就是 their work。那他们 cry 的，那么最后那个埃及人比他们叫的还要厉害啊，那么上帝可能要惩罚埃及人。然后呢，那个以色列人啊，在那个海啊，在海里面他们也还会叫啊，还会叫。这个 cry 啊，应该是。叫啊，愤怒的，或者是 或者是那个哭啊都可以。这个 cry 就是应该是叫的意思，并不是哭的。cry 就是一种抗议啊，或者是一种叫啊，就叫啊。The slavery that is 我讲，然后呢24。Also referring to the ancestral covenant, links Exodus with Genesis and anticipates the Sinai covenant 啊，那他这里呢提到了这个前面的那个上帝跟亚伯拉罕他们签的那个合同，对不对？然后呢，这个呢就是联系啊，他呢连接了，把那个出埃及记和那个创世纪就连起来了。然后呢，他预示是什么？预示是后面上帝还要跟那个签约。上帝后面要跟摩西签约，应该是在西奈，在西奈半岛，应该是啊，这那个里面叫西奈，这个应该念西奈啊，对吧？西奈，对啊，西奈就是西奈，叫西奈那个好像一个岛啊，在西奈半岛啊，那个地方，这是上帝要跟摩西啊要签约的啊。好，那么这个呢就是第2章。那么就讲完了啊，那么我们今天就讲到这，谢谢大家，再见。